What's up guys, this is Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor gameplay with a brand new video featuring Wukong, the ape assassin in the jungle. And lately I've been focusing on a lot of ranked matches because in most of the casuals I was always facing bots, and even in ranked matches in Platinum you can't really avoid those type of players or those type of things. And therefore you are going to see a lot of ranked matches on this channel in the next couple of videos. So let's hop right into the equipment section. I want to show you what I have chosen for today's match, and as you can see we are going to burst the enemies down with a full load of offensive items. The only item that we're using as some sort of utility is the war boots to give us some needed attack speed, and then in enchantments we're going with Raging Inferno, Deadly Claw and Devil's Awakening to proc our stuff even more often, and then we're complementing that with Acts of Sacrifice and the Holy Verdict. In terms of the Arcana, I've been choosing a crit build with Atrocity, Guerrilla and Skewer. That's most of the time the stuff that I would choose in order to get some more crits. As Wukong is mainly dependent on crits, that's the way to go. I think you can even build Rampage on him in the red department instead of Atrocity, but I haven't kind of selected that as a build here, so I would need to adjust that, and I do not really want to invest any further resources on additional Arcana pages for just one single hero, so this is this. If you like this kind of content, always remember to give me a thumbs up and try to put something in the comments below, as it really helps me to grow the channel, especially during the summertime where not really that much players are going to watch my videos. So every like is doubled or tripled the value. So if you feel free, thumbs up would highly appreciate it. And now let's hop right into the game to see what Wukong is actually able to do in the current meta. Alright, here we are in the actual gameplay, and that said, I haven't played Wukong in quite a while. That was the reason why I wanted to show a video on him, because I think he has been abandoned on this channel for about a year. When the ramen delivery skin was released, it's the skin that I've been using in this video, so if you want to check it out, there are some videos on the internet where you can actually see how cool the skin is, what animations you got, and how you can evolve this skin, because it's one of the few evolve skins that are there in the current status of the game. And quite crazy, as I said, I'm not really taking Wukong that often, and in this match we're going to face a mirror match against another Wukong in the jungle, and that's always a little bit lackluster because it basically depends on who is going to strike the alpha, who has invisibility up, and who can just hide himself in a bush a little bit better than the other Wukong. And there will be some times where we will have a show off in the jungle, but this is going to be taking place later on. First of all, I'm trying to get my jungle rotation ready. As you can see, I'm always trying to do a full rotation to get level 4, and then afterwards I'm trying to gank. But of course, if something is happening on the lane and I see a opening, I always try to go for the kill. For example, here with Telenas, it was actually quite promising, and here we go. There is the first kill in a couple of kills in a row, and that was really easy. So good luck on trying to escape here. Of course, that's suitable, but yeah, you are actually coming from the moment of surprise. That's how you play assassins, and I was caught a little bit off guard here because I just thought that I would have a chance on take something in addition down, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. But so far my team has been doing a really good job. 4 kills on Valheim right now, and I think that's a good point that you can use to start off a great match. So talking about Valheim and all the other players in the current matchup, I would say let's have a brief look on the team composition on both sides. So as you can see, I'm the one in the jungle. We have a really old school build with Greg and Valheim on the dual lane. That said, it's still a really potential thing. So every single time you have Greg and Valheim on the heels, you are going to have a great amount of fun, because you have a lot of CC that you can actually use quite good in order to just pin enemies in their location. And if they survive the first pin from Valheim, you can always go in and hook them, as you have just seen. Grog did a really good job here, and yeah, second kill for me, so thanks for that, Grog. In the mid lane, we've got Natalia, one of the main damage dealers in the game. Her damage output is just crazy. She doesn't have a lot of evade skills, so she can't really dash into any direction if she hasn't flicker up. But her damage output is really good, and therefore she's always a pretty decent mid laner, especially if she doesn't have anything against her that is quite mobile. So she has harder times against the likes such as Tulun, but for example Ishas, who really play from the back up to front, are not that difficult to face, so I think she should have the upper hand. On the solo lane, we've got Dextra versus Arthur. I think Dextra is a little bit underwhelming, but if you don't know how to tackle her, especially if she has ult ready and you attack her while she's using that ult, she can be quite durable. But if you know how to tackle her, she's not really that much of a threat anymore. That said, I don't really see that many Dextras in the game. It happens rarely. I don't really play her that often. I think she's actually quite fun to play, but sadly enough, she's not really played that often in the current status of the game, and I think it's just because there are many better options that you can face in playing the top lane, and therefore she is always kind of falling behind, especially if you've got these Arthur players, you've got Florentinos, Richters, Volkovs, all these really powerful choices, and why should you take Dextra if you can pick something that is actually quite powerful instead? That said, taking a look on the opposing force, we had Dextra, as I already said and mentioned and kind of evaluated. We've got Telenas, a really good range hero who's able to dish out a lot of damage from far away, trying to go in here, but unfortunately I kind of fucked up my targeting. I wanted to go for Telenas, but unfortunately because of my skill settings it took Dextra instead. Otherwise I would have had an easier time, but Arthur seals the deal, so that's good. We have Isha on the mage lane. I don't really think that she's that strong. I mean, she has a good potential just because she has some kind of company with her furry toy or whatever it is. But against Natalia, she should have a hard time because Natalia just has the better damage output. Way better damage output than Isha. Isha is more some sort of utility champion, and if you're kind of in a 1v1 against Natalia, she should always be the loser in those battles. But I think from a teamfight perspective, Isha actually has a lot of value because she can just pin down enemies in a certain spot, making the life against AD carries a lot easier. But of course you need to be close and kind of set up everything in order to make a perfect play. And if Natalia has been doing a good job on just kind of playing the attrition game, whittling her down, Isha should not have that many options. She should basically play behind, and that is how Natalia can deal with her. We also have a Valheim on the dual lane, so I think that is actually quite stupid. A support tank or roamer would have been a lot better, especially against our team composition, because I am the force who is able to get all those squishy heroes without any problem, as you can see here. So 5 kills already. But all in all, I would say, because we have a lot more sophisticated team composition, we have the upper hand because it's a lot more kind of natural. We've got an assassin in the jungle, we've got a tank, we've got a CC AD carry, we've got another tank in the solo lane who's also quite mobile and has good damage output, and then we've got a really good mage, not one of the best mages, but a really good mage with pretty good damage output, and therefore I think we had the upper hand right from the start, especially if you take a look on fights like that. Like, this is what Wukong is about to do. He is the counter against squishies. Make yourself invisible, jump in, get the crit, and then jump in again, and then use your ult, and most of the squishies should already be dead by that time of the game. Now was basically looking for an opening to get into the Wukong range here, and unfortunately, as I was using my skills to kind of close the gap, he had the upper hand. He's not superior in terms of gold and levels, but he played it a little bit better because he was just standing still, and I think some of my momentum went into the red golem, and therefore he was able to catch me. And yeah, sometimes I just try things in order to make it work, but in this case it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So doesn't matter, because we have the upper hand when it comes to all those big monsters. As you have just seen, we went for Abyssal Dragon for the second time. We already have a Darkslayer because I made the Darkslayer work. Here is another kill. And unfortunately, we got Wukong, who was camping quite nicely here, and unfortunately he is about to get away here without any problem, because he can just put himself into an invisible state. There's not really that much that my guys can do against it, but I think he should just move away, and that's what he did. So nice outplay here. I think he was really annoying, but all in all, with 31 versus 18, we already have the upper hand, and look at that damage output. That was just one shot into Telenas, and she's already close to being dead. So another S1 from Natalia is going to close this file, or this case, forever. And what I'm doing right now, because I see that my team is basically occupied, I try to get as many buffs as possible to stack up my jungle item. And now I saw a good opening on getting the Darkslayer, because my team was basically standing around the core of the enemies, or at least next to the tower. And I thought, let's just give them a really nice boost by getting that Darkslayer. And the damage output of Wukong is actually quite good. Like, look at that. Without any problem, I have been able to get Darkslayer. So now I'm going to release it in the mid lane, because it's the shortest lane, and as we have been pushing all day long on the mid lane, that should be a good call. Slayer Vanguards have already spawned, and I saw another opening here on the top lane, because I thought that the enemies might just be focusing on the mid lane defense. Unfortunately, they have just kind of switched their mind, and there's not really that much that I can do against 3 players. Therefore, I decided to go back into the tower race and get another tower here for my team. Now I'm getting out. Wukong is kind of determining everything into that one single bracket. I'm really low on health right now, so I need to get out, but I wanted to give another try to this kind of team fight. At least I got another kill. Unfortunately, I was being killed at the same procedure, but this is game. 13 minutes played, everything is nice and shiny, and we have just won the game with and for our team. So I think Wukong is actually not that bad, but he really needs a good team composition. You need to have some kind of moment where your team is engaging, and where you can just hop in as an assassin, kill the enemies, and have a good time. So as you can see, my damage is not that great with 13.5%, but all in all, I think we had our moments, and we kind of participated in the win. And therefore, I'm good to go. And look at that, telling us this is not even funny anymore. So thanks for watching, and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.